Hey team, if you fish from a big kayak and you're tired of deadlifting it into the water, this one's for you. 6 months ago, I bought the Malone MicroSport LowBed trailer, and I've used it every week since. Today, I'll show you the tiny changes that turned it from pretty good into my favorite launch buddy, plus what broke on day one, and the $30 part that keeps my feet out of the water. Let's roll. So, quick context, I'm hauling an Old Town Sportsman ePDL plus 120 Pro, a legit fishing platform that's 12 feet long and pretty heavy when fully rigged. It's the kind of boat where a good trailer isn't optional. It's the difference between fishing more and hurting more. Back in April, I picked up the LowBed package. As I'm filming this, it's November, and I've been out basically every week. Rain, cold mornings, night drives, pretty much everything except ice. Over these 6 months, I learned exactly what this trailer does great, what it doesn't love, and a few simple upgrades that make it way easier to live with. Let's start with the build. The box shows up, and it looks a little intimidating, but honestly, it's fine. I did the assembly in about 4 to 5 hours with regular tools. The holes lined up, the instructions made sense, and the hubs came pre-greased, which is one less job and one less mess. If wrenches aren't your thing, a lot of stores will sell you one pre-built, but for me the DIY part was kind of fun. Okay, the first thing that didn't impress me, lights. On my first dunk at the ramp, the side markers went out. A couple months later, one tail light died completely and the other was only half lit. Water had gotten in. It happens. Trailers get dunked. But the stock setup on mine just didn't love it. Fix. I swapped to a fully sealed Submersible LED kit and tucked the wiring into split wire loom with heat shrink connectors and a dab of dielectric grease. Since then, no drama. If you plan to back into the water regularly, I'd just budget for better lights from day one and protect the wiring. It's cheap insurance and it saves you ramp side headaches. Now let me show you the change that matters most for a heavy kayak, how high it rides. When I first followed the default setup, with the tall crossbars and both bunk sets, the kayak sat too high. To get it off, I had to back the trailer really deep, almost to the car's rear tires, just to float the kayak off. It worked, but not fun at cold ramps and not great for my nerves, so I tried something different. I took one bunk set and bolted those bunks directly to the main frame using the included connectors. No upper tier, no extra height, just low and centered. The difference? Night and day. Instead of hovering around 30-something inches, the kayak rides roughly in the low 20s. That's the difference between a wrestle and a slide. I can solo launch without hiking the boat onto some tall platform, and I don't have to drown the trailer to float it. If you run one big kayak, the frame-mounted bunk approach is absolutely my recommendation. Friendly tip, if you do copy this, double-check clearance to the fenders and the tail lights and keep your bow eye winch path clear. Easy wins. On the road, the LowBed is simple. It tracks straight, it doesn't fishtail, and because the trailer itself is light, I can move it by hand around the yard after I unhook. That was a big reason I chose it. I wanted something I could park by the house without starting a workout. About speed, the paperwork talks about highway use and a 65 miles per hour note for the 12-inch wheel setup. In real life, I'll be honest, I'm often around 70 on longer drives, and it's been fine for me. But do your thing within the rating and keep the basics tight, lug nuts, wiring, bunks, and so on. Let's talk about the tongue, the long beam that reaches your hitch. The extra length is nice for backing and gives space at the bumper, but here's the pain point. If there's no pier, walking up the tongue to crank the kayak on can be sketchy. You're balancing on metal, or stepping on the spare tire, or just wading in. In spring and fall, when the water is sharp and cold, that's not my favorite. My fix. Add a bolt-on tongue step. It's a small textured platform that bolts to the tongue and gives you a safe place to step and work the winch. It's not expensive and it instantly makes the trailer feel more finished. For me, that upgrade is a no-brainer. Let me walk you through my usual routine. I back down the ramp, pop the retractable tie-downs, slide the kayak, park, and fish. At the end of the day, I reverse it. Only now I'm usually tired and hungry, so I want it as friction-free as possible. That's why I love the CargoBuckle G3 retractable straps. They're mounted right to the trailer, auto retract, and they're strong enough that I never worry about them. No loose webbing, no hunting for ratchets, just click and go. They turned my load unload from a chore into a couple quick motions. And because I travel with a lot of stuff, cover off, kayak unstrapped, ePDL drive installed, Minn Kota Tarova kayak motor on, cameras, rods, the whole pack up is still 20 to 30 minutes. But it's smooth. Nothing fights me anymore, and that's the point. People ask, can it haul 2 kayaks? Yes. That's what the extra bunk set and the long crossbars are for. But be ready for the trade-off, height. As soon as you put boats side by side on the bars, your load sits higher, which means deeper dunking at the ramp and more lifting. For my use, one heavy kayak, the low-centered setup wins every time. If I ever add a second boat, I'll probably keep one side low and run a lighter boat on the other. Quality overall? Good. 6 months of weekly trips and nothing has fallen off, backed out, or rusted away. After a bunch of dunkings, my leaf springs sometimes squeak. A quick clean and a little lubricant shuts them up, and I just check the hardware every few trips. It's galvanized, it lives at the ramp, and so far it's holding up like it should. I'm curious to see how it handles winter, but based on the first half year, I'm confident. The bones are solid. The weak link was the lighting, and we already fixed that. If you're ordering one, here's what I'd bundle so you're set from day one. A spare tire with a lockable mount. You rarely need it until you really need it. A tongue kickstand / jack so you can store and hitch it easily in the yard. Retractable straps. I use CargoBuckle G3 and I wouldn't go back. Sealed submersible LED lights plus split wire loom to protect the harness. And if you fish solo a lot in cold water, that bolt-on tongue step, it keeps your feet dry and your balance better. The LowBed is light enough that I can roll it by hand to its parking spot beside the house. That matters when you come home late and just want to be done. And the low ride height, especially with the bunks on the frame, makes it solo friendly. I can slide the kayak up without a gym warm-up, tie it down in seconds, and hit the road. There's a reason I haven't gone back to loading in the truck bed or lifting onto a tall rack. This setup saves time and saves my back. And when you fish every week, that adds up. Pros: low launch height, especially with the bunks bolted to the frame, lightweight and easy to move by hand, stable towing and all the basics just work. The frame is galvanized and holds up at the ramp. Cons: stock lights didn't survive dunking. Upgrade them early. The long tongue needs a step for comfortable no-pier launches. If you haul 2 kayaks, be ready for a taller load. For one heavy fishing kayak, this trailer is a win. Lower it with frame-mounted bunks, add retractable straps, bolt on a step, and swap to sealed lights. You'll have a setup that's fast, back-friendly, and reliable. I'm happy with it. Call it 8 out of 10 as shipped, and a 9 with those easy upgrades. If you're running an Old Town ePDL plus 120 Pro or anything similar in size, the LowBed, setup low, just makes life easier. Drop your questions in the comments, tell me what trailer you're running, and if you want, I'll make a quick guide on mounting the bunks directly to the frame and routing the wiring the clean way. Thank you, friends. Thanks for watching, and tight lines.